This show was made for this day. You're seeing all athletes around you. If you're going to talk about football, why not talk to the individuals that have played?
With the
travel gear. We in our travel gear because it's game day. Look, y'all, there's no better show than the show we're about to give y'all. Shady McCoy, you played in the league. Chase, you played in the league. James, you played in the league. It's all experience here. This is all knowledge. Shady, starting with you.
Let's do it.
Did the Chiefs put the league on notice?
On notice, huh? Hey, watching that footage right there. That was the biggest primetime shows I've ever seen, all right? It was like size 13. Well, what's on notice about? Because we talking about three-piece, right?
Yep.
So the league knows who the favorite is. They know who the team is.
That's true.
Right? I will say this, though. The league should be even more scared, right? Because if you look at a team like the Chiefs, they didn't even play well last night, and they still found a way to win. When the Ravens scored, they scored back. When the Ravens made an answer, they answered back.
Yep.
I look at this the overall on the offense part, because defense played really, really well. I look at the offense. Look at the young K. Worthy, though. Ooh, he's explosive. Imagine when he gets a better feel for the game. He's young, right? Imagine getting the ball a bit more, design some more plays up, and then you take out Juju Schuster, take him out, and then you put in Hollywood Brown. Oh, my God. Andy Reid's doing it again. I just think that with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in this era, man, that's their era. We watched it with Tom Brady. Now we watched it with Andy Reid.
You cooked right there, 2-5. You cooked right there.
Yeah.
They absolutely put the league on notice to me, Chase and James, for this reason and this reason alone. I believe that the Ravens likely would have beat any other team not named the Kansas City Chiefs. So now the Ravens have seen the Chiefs twice. A must win, and I would love to win. 120 minutes of game time. And in those 120 minutes of game time, the Chiefs have been leading for 80 minutes. The game has been tied for 30 minutes. And the Ravens have been leading for 2 minutes, obviously give or take a minute or two here or there. You're telling me that the Chiefs have been leading for like 87 minutes. The Ravens only been leading for 2 minutes, and the game has been tied for 30 minutes. It's not really a contest. So not only are the Chiefs putting the Ravens on notice, they're speaking through the Ravens to the rest of the league, because if this is the best that the league has to offer in the Baltimore Ravens, send me your best, and I'm going to send them home. I'm going to send them home at the bank. I'm going to send them home at Arrowhead. I'm going to send them home in a championship game. I'm going to send them home in game one. I'm going to send them home on NBC. I'm going to send them home on CBS. I'm going to send them home on Fox. I'm going to send them home on ABC. I'm going to send them home on ESPN. I don't care where you send them to me. I'm going to send them back home. They put the Ravens on notice. They put the Chiefs on notice. They put the league on notice.
Yeah, I just think the league was already on notice. Like, we know what the Chiefs
they are.
Yes, so I like your answer. I agree with Shady, though, because at the end of the day, how in the world does the best NFL team over really the last 5 years, how do they get better? They got better, dude. That's the craziest part about it. And so the league is on notice for that. But they weren't expecting the type of game that the Chiefs put on last night, specifically from that receiver room, Xavier Worthy, right? We don't even talk about Hollywood Brown. Holly Brown is the linchpin of that success. Travis Kelce, he didn't have a target until 9 minutes left in the second quarter. My guy, like that's what I'm talking about, because there's so many offensive weapons. Like, yeah, Mahomes was 20-28, 290, a touchdown, a pick. The interception was bad, just made a wrong decision, right? But at the end of the day, they still put up 27 points against a really good Ravens defense. So I think, for me, it's one of those things where the league was sort of hoping maybe that the Chiefs weren't going to show what they did, but they showed a better offense than they had all of last year. It's game one, so they're already starting ahead of the pack.
Where you at, Jay?
You picked the Ravens, right, Jay?
Where you at, Jay?
You picked the Ravens, huh?
Where you at, Jay?
Circle that.
It's circled. I did pick Lamar. Listening to y'all talk, they absolutely put the league on notice. And I know we were taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the field to three-peat and all that type stuff, but as we were talking about the Chiefs this offseason, we all didn't know what it was going to look like. We kind of had a clue, but we didn't know. They put the league on notice because they said, yep, these shiny new toys we got, they like that. All right, totally different offense than it is last year. And we continue to keep saying the Chiefs ain't played their best, but they beaten the best. They beaten the best in the NFC, they beaten the best in the AFC, and we continue to keep saying they not playing their best. They put the whole league on notice that y'all better step y'all game up, because we have in the offseason with our pieces, as y'all can see, and we still missing one in Hollywood Brown. The league is on notice. And not only that, you had a quarterback in Lamar Jackson who did something that ain't never been done in the history of the game.
Yep.
And it's still equal to L? And we still ain't play our best? And that's y'all best? The league is on notice, man. They got too many weapons. They got Patty Mahomes. They got Andy Reid. The defense is off on the right track, playing really good football. The league is on notice that y'all better get y'all stuff together or it's going to be a three-peat.
Shady, I just want to hit on Andy Reid. I got a graphic to show you specifically
You wanna hit on Andy?
just how good Xavier Worthy was last night. Colvin, let's pull that up. He was the only, there's 5 receivers in the history of the game with a rushing touchdown of more than 20 yards and a receiving touchdown of 30-plus yards in a game in the last 20 seasons. What do you see about that list right there in the last 20 seasons? Sorry. What do you see about that?
They all played with Andy.
4 of 5 of those guys played for head coach Andy Reid. Andy Reid knows how to use weapons. Andy Reid and Brett Veach did it again. They did it again. They drafted a LeSean Jackson clone. I talked to some people in the building last night after the game. That's what they're saying about him. He is D-Jack 2.0.
It's crazy because when they did that reverse, I text D-Jack and I text Brett Veach. I said, bro, this is the LeSean Jackson play.
Yes.
You got that type of speed, you can dial it up. So now, this is how clever Andy is. He shows that on tape, right? It goes 6, right? So everybody in the world has seen that.
First touch for him, too.
The next game, or I don't know, probably like game 4, he'll wait a little bit. He'll do the same thing, same setup. Fake to the running back, fake the pitch. He's going to have somebody screaming down for a touchdown. Andy Reid is that clever. So when I seen that play, I said, that is LeSean Jackson.
It really is.
Here's what I'm thinking. Like, not only did the league did the Chiefs put the league on notice, Andy Reid consistently, I'll talk more about it later, he puts everybody on notice. Kelvin, get ready to set up the iPad because of what Chase did, what Shady just did. I want to build on that. They're talking about that reverse play, and Andy Reid is what's scheming up these touchdowns. This is the play that Shady was just talking about. This is Xavier Worthy's 20-plus yard touchdown run. What I want y'all to notice very, very simply is this. Before you even get to the Yearman, Shady, look at this right here. How many Ravens defenders are outside the hash?
A lot.
Count them up. You got about 1, 2, 3, 4 Ravens defenders are outside the hash. But how many Chiefs blockers are out there?
More.
Thank you, Chase Daniel, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you got the ball carrier right here. So the Chiefs are 6 on 4 plus a ball carrier. Family, it's not a fair fight if Andy Reid is in the game because just like that, now it's a touchdown.
Kelce had a pancake block on that. Creed Humphrey had a pancake block.
When I'm thinking about putting people on notice, y'all, Andy Reid is consistently out scheming the opponent and putting the whole world on notice in the game.
The thing is, though, like I've seen that play like 10 years ago when I played for Andy Reid. It's not like it's a new play. He just formates it up differently. That's what makes Andy Reid so good. He's got 10 to 15 base plays, like in base pass and base run when we're breaking it down. It's not like reinvent the wheel. It's just like we got better people in better positions. Schematically, we can design it a little bit different, but we also, the offensive line is taught well. Travis Kelce, he got his head dirty blocking. Like it was a fascinating play.
Now, James, you picked the Ravens to win, but more than picking the Ravens, you picked Lamar Jackson to win. Lamar Jackson, obviously, 395 total yards. It was a very, very, very good performance. Let's have the conversation in front of the world that we were having backstage before getting ready for the show.
They ain't ready for it.
Well, they not. I don't know if I am. But how would you grade James Jones, Lamar Jackson's performance last night? Let's get into it, big dog. First one, week 1, game 1. It's all assets up here.
I know you on my side.
There's a
Professor Jones, let's hear it now.
We on the left side.
I circled it.
I'm giving Lamar Action Jackson an A. I thought he played a very, very good football game. You're not making every throw in the football game. We know that. I don't care what type quarterback you are. You're not making every throw. Did he miss a couple throws? Sure, right? One of them throws could have sent the game to overtime. Well, I'm not going to say overtime because the coach is already throwing up for 2. We going for 2. So going for 2. They was either going to win or lose that game, period. But Lamar Action Jackson, like I said earlier, nobody in NFL history did what he did yesterday. Throwing for more than 250. And rushing for more than 120. Nobody has done that. Lamar Jackson played an extremely well game yesterday from top to bottom. Does he wish he could have had some throws back? Absolutely. But the way this young fella played, he put his team in position to win that football game with his play. I don't know if he could have played too much better than the way he played last night. I really do not. And if you're gonna pick one or two throws to say he could have played better with that, cool. But you're not making every throw in the game. I thought Lamar Jackson played his tail off. It just wasn't good enough to beat the baddest man in the league right now, in Patty Mahomes.
I knew you were on my side.
You know, every now and then, man. Every now and then.
I don't disagree with most of what you said because Lamar did play his tail off. I mean, 395 total yards, he absolutely did. But here's my dilemma is how often will we come on this show after the Ravens play against the Chiefs and say, man, Lamar played his tail off, but it just wasn't enough. Yeah. In the game of football, in the game of life, in the game of sports, throw out stats. Throw out stats. Did you win? Or did you lose? Right. Far too often we get fixated on, well, how many yards did he throw for? How many yards did he rush for? How many passing yards per attempt did he have? I don't care about all that. Did you win or did you lose? Did you make enough winning plays or enough losing plays? Of course, Lamar missed a few throws, just like Patty did.
No
Patty
doubt.
threw a pick. But here's my dilemma. Lamar missed 3 throws that could have tied and or won or lost had they gone for 2 and not gotten it, the game. So I don't want to come up on this show in front of y'all with all these brilliant athletes sitting around me and simply saying, yeah, Lamar played an A. I thought he played a B. I played like a B minus performance.
I'm going
I
B+.
played a B minus performance.
I mean, B minus?
Yeah,
I mean that.
B+.
So I'm gonna say B+, right? Because he did play a phenomenal game, right? And I think if he played the same way he played in the second half and the first half, they might have had a chance to win this game. And when it came to one play or 2 plays, I think in the second half, he was like, you know what? I got this, right? Throw that playbook, I got it. And you see more, he was super decisive. Yo, I'm in the pocket. If my guys ain't there, I'm running.
Yeah.
It was sometimes it was like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and there was some guys open. He didn't even care about that. I'm gonna try to get the first time myself. It's funny I say that because on the other side with Patrick Mahomes, I played with Pat in 2019. And that was the first time I seen a quarterback, this respectfully, so all my guys I played with, just hear me out. That's the first time I seen a quarterback where I'm going to find a way to win this thing no matter what it is. If it's thrown to my number 1 receiver, if it's thrown to my backup tight end like likely, if it's thrown to my running back, whoever it is, or me scrambling more than I'm supposed to, I'm going to find a way to win. That's how Patrick Mahomes, he be getting certain games. The games ain't going the way he like, the game plan, forget it, throw it out the window. Yeah. In the second half, I give Lamar a B+, because the first half was cool. Yeah. He was standing in the pocket, trying to just be, I guess, coachable. Hey, coach wants to do this, do that. I understand that. In the second half, he was taking off. Whenever he seen any opening, guys getting missed blocks, I ain't waiting, I'm getting out of there. Throwing to my check downs, like making plays on the run. The one play he scrambled out to the right, was nowhere open, and there was man coverage, but likely. Throw it to him, touchdown and he scored. Yep. Like, that's giving your player a chance to make a play. So I think with Lamar Jackson, I give him a B+ just because he didn't win a game, and this game is about winning. I kind of disagree with Acho about the stats, because the stats do matter. I mean, there's guys like Jimmy G that don't.
They definitely
no stats and they win. So I'm saying I think stats matter and also wins. He didn't win. The last 3 plays, though, you got to find a way to hit your open receiver.
Make one of them.
Just make one of them. That's all I'm saying.
But
he played a phenomenal game.
I give him an A. I'm with you.
There you go.
Because I look at quarterback a little different because I played.
Of course.
And so I think stats matter to an extent. Like, do you make enough plays down the stretch to win? No, he didn't. But I also think we're looking at it in a lens of Chiefs, only Chiefs. I'm looking at it at 31 other teams. I know they played the Chiefs last night. I get it. But Lamar Jackson puts on that performance against 31 other teams. They win running away. All right, so I just think you got to take it back to the Chiefs and just talk about how good they are. Like, we weren't sure how good the Chiefs were going to be on defense. Lamar still put up 400 yards, a touchdown. And when you really dive into the game, like, I thought the play calling wasn't great, if I'm being completely honest. Like, yeah, it's on Lamar. At the end of the day, you as a quarterback have to take what's given to you and make the best of what is given to you. Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, the first half, Shady, what you were talking about?
I didn't like it.
He threw the ball drop back only. Like, he only called drop back plays.
What I text you?
Shady text me like, hey, why ain't they running the ball with Derrick?
Why are we throwing the ball somewhere? You got Derrick Henry back there,
Okay,
looking like a freaking man-child.
That's good and all, but if you're going to call drop back plays, Lamar is not a drop back passer. That's not what he's good at. You said it yourself. Man. He likes to run around. He's on pace for 272 carries. Yeesh. 272 carries. He had 18 carries. The whole thing about the AFC Championship game, hey, Lamar, you're not running enough. You're not doing it. What did he do? He ran more. Yeah. He can't sustain that. He's 12 pounds lighter than he was last year. So when you look at the play calling, give him some RPOs. Yeah. Give him some run game with Derrick Henry. Give him some under center play action pass or bootlegs and nakeds. You know why? Because that new offensive line lost 3 starters.
Yeah,
and that's the best thing in offensive line, a new offensive line that is yet to gel together, which, by the way, had 6 penalties on, including 4 illegal formations. That's the best way you can settle down, especially on the road and offensive line. And he did not do that. The entire game, the most of Lamar's runs, they weren't called runs. They were scrambles because he was getting pressure in his face the whole time. So you're only as good as your offensive line in those situations. Like, you can only see so much. Maybe he's not getting through his full progression. Maybe he's only getting to 1. He's feeling the pressure. You can only do so much with the plays that are being called.
And that's why, for me, though, that's why I give him an A, because I feel like he's not that pocket passer. We want him to be. We want him to grow. We want him to be elite passer, but that's not his strengths. Like, if Patrick Mahomes goes out there and he don't juke 3-4 dudes, we ain't gonna be sitting up here like, come on, Patty, juke him. But if Patty missed them throws, we like, come, you know what I'm saying? So with Lamar, it's like, Lamar Jackson is not a pocket passer. That's why I'm giving him an A, because that's not really his strong game. What he did in that football game with his legs, with his strong game, he was changing that game with his legs. And yes, he missed a couple throws with his arms, but that's not really his strong point in his game.
Here's my question again. I love this. We got 40 years of NFL experience up here. You're not going to find that on another show. An athlete is talking at all times. Here's my issue, though, is how often can we come up here? It's year 7 for Lamar, y'all.
Yeah.
Year 7, man. Year 7. He had Greg Roman for the first 5.
Yeah.
He's now had Todd Monken for the last year in the game. What else? What other? Andy Reid coaches for the Chiefs. He will never coach for the Baltimore Ravens, as I suggest. So Lamar Jackson's never going to have Andy Reid's offensive game plan.
Right.
So we came out after 5 years, Chase, and we said Greg Roman's wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Now it's been a year. They went to the AFC Championship game, #1 seed last year. Lamar won another MVP, and now we're saying, oh, it's not good enough. I just think there are Andy Reids and Shanahans and McVays, and they're few and far between. Everybody doesn't have them. Either way, Todd Monken, his offense shady, had Lamar Jackson at the 20-yard line.
Right.
Just make one of the 3 throws. You ain't got to make them all.
And I get that.
Just make one.
But I do think that, and the Chiefs are the favorite to win it all. But they seen what they seen last night. Okay, these Ravens ain't bad.
No doubt.
Now, I know Andy Reid, like, yo, these Ravens ain't bad. And we talk about this going forward, right? Because you just said it earlier, Chase, that if they play any other team other than the Chiefs, that they probably win that game.
Running
right?
away.
But the only thing is, the only team that really matters is the Chiefs. And I do feel like if they play head-to-head again, the Chiefs got to be a lot better. Because the Ravens going to get better, right? New offensive line you talked about. And I think the biggest thing on the Ravens' offense is the offensive line. Because we really want to run this ball, right? I think they're going to find a way to use Derrick Henry a little better. And then you talked about how we're throwing the ball with Lamar. Maybe it's not always drop back. Maybe it's rollouts. Maybe it's play action.
It has to be.
Right? Maybe some RPOs with Derrick Henry. So they're going to find a gel with their offense. I just think that going forward, the Chiefs did win this game, right?
Did.
But they got to come a little bit more
Chase,
with it.
let me ask you something, though. Why is it always not enough? It's always not enough. It's always not enough. Remember Lamar Jackson, the start of his NFL career. Oh, man, the running game is too much. Greg Roman got Lamar Jackson in handcuffs. Get rid of Greg Roman. Okay, we did that. Bring in Todd Monken. We got to spread this thing out. We're going to see a lot of 10 personnel formations. Last year, you saw Zay Flowers. You saw Nelson Aguilar. You saw Odell Beckham. You saw Rashad Bateman. You saw all these individuals. You get to the playoffs. Man, they got to run it more. Okay, cut to week 1 of the 2024 season. Okay, man, now that there's too much drop back pass. It's too much. Family, it's never going to be perfect, Chase. Shady, it's never going to be perfect. Y'all know that. Y'all played a lot longer than me. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't the player have to make the imperfections perfect? That's where I'm at with it. Andy don't call a perfect game.
Yeah.
He don't call a perfect game.
Well, and then you look at Mahomes. Andy didn't call a perfect game, and Mahomes had you said C+.
C+. Had a C+
I think it's a little bit higher than that, but, like, that's not what we're talking about. I think at the end of the day, as a quarterback, like, there's 2 things that make you go from, there's really one thing that makes you go from good to great. Can you put a team on your back and carry them? That's what gets you to great. Lamar
basically did that.
Lamar did it.
Yeah.
Lamar did it except for the last 3 plays. That's going to be the storyline. Like, you got to finish. You got to make one of those 3 throws. But at the end of the day, I still think Lamar Jackson is a top 3-4 quarterback in the league. Now, his legacy is it's never been about the regular season. It's always been about the postseason. The dude has 2 MVPs. You can't argue his greatness. We can talk about how much of a jump he's going to make from year to year. There's only so much more he can do. So I don't know. Is it the Ravens letting him down? Like, is it the Ravens not surrounding him with that? Like, there's only so much you can do as a quarterback. His greatness is at the all-time high. Like, yeah, his career record when trailing at the half, he's 7-14. He's not a good quarterback playing from behind. His record in the playoffs, not great. His record versus Mahomes, now 1-5, 0-1 in the playoffs. It all comes down to legacy for me, and the legacy is not in the regular season with Lamar. It's in the playoffs, and he has yet to show that.
But I can't blame this on the Ravens, though. I feel like the Ravens have tried and tried and tried and tried. Because at one point, right, you got Greg Roman. We don't know what it's going to look like if Lamar Jackson goes to 4 wide with an offensive play caller. We don't know. So that was why we were like, man, get Greg Roman out of here. Let Lamar throw this ball. Let us see. We've seen now. Right? And I think that's the thing we need to watch the game with our eyes. We see now the best offense for Lamar Jackson might be a Greg Roman offense, might be a run, might be a scramble around, make some plays. It might not be 4 wide, drop back. Let's do. What is it? Sweep the field. It might not be sweep the field. It might be a playmaker like you are, how you won the Heisman, how you won 2 MVPs. That's you. That's the offense. Now we are clearly seeing that maybe the 4 wide, the spread out is not Lamar. Maybe the Greg Roman style is Lamar, because you can't sit here and say they ain't did that. It's been first rounder at receiver. We're trying to bring in a running back for you. They've been trying.
Specifically this game, and I know you got to tease it and get out of here, but the offensive line is what I'm talking about. They let him down with that. 3 new starters. They said, Lamar can handle it.
What I'm saying, did they have the defensive line, the offensive line last year?
Much better.
So that's what I'm saying. They've been trying. They've been trying.
He won an MVP, and they got the onesie, though.
Well, look, we're in our game day fits because it's game day. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.